Hey y'all, welcome to Other Realm Studio. I'm Paula, and my computer is being an idiot. So, there's that. So I just had to restart it. I know I'm late. But it started with my second monitor going black, as it does every few months for no good reason. And I had set up my OBS screen to show up on that one. And I couldn't pull it down where I could actually use it. So now I've forced a restart on my computer. I don't know what's saved. I don't know what's still here. I worked all day on this page. Why is it tiny? Okay. Alright. Okay, that looks like all my layers. Yikes. Yeah, see up here it says restore. Oh my goodness. Over the restored canvas. Yes. It looks right. I haven't done anything to it. Yes, I don't care about the rasterization. Yikes. So let's see if that's going to work out. And I need to pull up my Twitch chat. Oh my goodness. Why? Oh. Look at that. All my tabs are showing up on this screen that I don't trust anymore. Okay, I was also, this popped up when I hit the internet button. I was also thinking about running an Indiegogo campaign. So let me drag this down. Nope, nope, nope. What's going on? Okay, things are going slow for some reason. Okay, so I was looking at starting an Indiegogo campaign as well as the Kickstarter. Because there are some people, they say that they would love to back my project, but they don't like Kickstarter. Okay. Well, I might be able to find a couple more people. So, I don't know. I'm looking up here at my Twitch dashboard and see this? It looks like there's a black screen on this video and I don't know why. I don't know. It's not going to be very entertaining unless that gets fixed. I'm going to hit the refresh button on that. Yeah, it's still a black screen. Oh well. So the thing I was wanting to do today is the old page 1. Nothing like computer problems to make you feel really tense. Okay, I need to move my new layer down below the inks, change it to multiply. And, oh no, now my Facebook. Well, if you comment on Facebook, I don't know if I'll be able to see it or not. Yeah, I thought things were going well today. That'll teach me. Okay, so set my shading layer to multiply. Set my palette to light grayish, and pick things that will coordinate with the colors that I'm using. See, it's easy to add dimension quickly to things like furniture with the straight line tool. Just try not to overlap anything that's an organic shape with it. And so you can see it's a see-through color, and it just sort of casts a darker version of that shade onto whatever you put it on. So that much I can do with the mouse, since that's what I have in my hands right now. And I'm going to go ahead and, oh, almost forgot. Let's see. Hey, James Lynch. How you doing? I think I'm fairly well synced up on Facebook, but I cannot see what I'm doing, which I think that's more of a problem with my tablet, because it's trying to do stupid things. All I'm getting is a black screen on Twitch and on Facebook. That's not really so unusual on Facebook. I haven't been able to watch video on it for, a few days now. But the getting the black video preview screen up on Twitch is a little worrying. Okay, so I'm a little tense. I'm going to just warm up, do some boring straight lines for a second. Try not to lose track of which ones I've done. Okay. Yeah, this looks like my, well, not exactly, but it reminds me of my Depression era furniture. My waterfall bed and dresser and wardrobe that I have. I didn't do the pattern in the veneer on this because I have no idea how to do it, and I don't want to spend all that much time on furniture when I have all the characters to be working on. Thanks, I'll try and relax. It's just a little bit difficult when the computer's been a mess. So, let's back up a little bit. Whoop. And think about where the shadows are going to lie. So I'm thinking down here in the lower left corner of this panel there's going to be some firelight casts. So this is going to curve here in the couch. It's going to curve slightly this way. There's a crease right there. And make this a little bigger. And just this whole thing can just be kind of an organic shape in here. And let's see, it's got some dark shadow underneath it, but we can soften up the shadow there. And around here on this side. So this is what I had for page 1 of the prologue originally, but now I have Mia working on a new page 1 and a new page 2, and it will, is it page 2? No. New page 1 and a new page 3 is what it is. And that's going to be, that's going to give you more of an idea of the whole story. Because including that with issue 1 is going to really help you get into the whole concept of the other realm. Because there's not a whole lot of the other world in issue 1 as a standalone story dealing with Becca, who's my main character for that part. This part deals with Becca's mother. See, there's Becca. She's right here. Right in there. But she kind of doesn't get to come out and see anything for a bit. So I didn't want to make the story all about Becca's mother, but it is important what happens to her. And you do get more of the stuff that I've promised in the description on the Kickstarter. What most of the story is going to be about. Let's see. Her elbow is closer in here, so the shadow is going to be closer, but the shadow of her hand is going to be a little bit different. So I did have this whole thing colored before, and you can still find it on comichouse.com. It's a freebie, or at least, you know, this page, and so, well, 5 pages of it is. But I'm now recoloring it to match the style of the new comic. We're going to have it re-lettered. And a little bit more of the backstory. Or not backstory precisely, but some important information for people to know. When they're figuring out what's going on into the world, because I did kind of drop everybody in the middle of everything in issue 1. So I'm pretty happy with the idea of including this as bonus material. I mean, it does kind of get rid of the putting this at the beginning would spoil the surprise about where Becca's from and where she ends up. But I think people will be happier to read more of what I wrote my description about. Let me see, why is this so small? Oh yeah, when I was doing this page, I was using the eraser and tidying up some pretty small areas. But now I have to go back to the way things were. Let's see. Swap back to my graphic pen. And I think that I am a better colorist now than when I colored the pages the first time. I mean, I was working a lot more zoomed in the first time around and trying to follow all these lines precisely. But now I really think that instead of just coloring in like you would a coloring book, it's better to cross the lines more and let those be wood grain and show, you know, highlights and shadows. Also, I've gotten a lot faster at coloring, which is good. If I hadn't, I don't know if I'd be able to get all this done in time for it to be included as bonus material. Well, no matter what, I think that it would get it done in time to be included as bonus material for the backers. But it's a little bit iffy whether I'm going to get all the files done in time so that I get my copies to take to Soda City Comic Con. That's a little bit more up in the air. I mean, I've promised most of the backers, I put the deadline as sometime in August, No, wait. I'm still stuck on August. I've promised the backers that they will get their copies by September. September is no problem. I can definitely get this out the door and in one of the printing schedule slots in plenty of time for that. Going to erase out some of this. Maybe I'm going to start over on this. Well, that's a little better. So I'm pretty sure that if I can get all the files ready anytime in the next 2 months, I'll be able to ship out all the rewards with all the comics and everything. And they'll arrive well before the end of September. But my Comic-Con, my last one of the year, unfortunately, is near the beginning of August. So what I would love to have happen is if I could just get it done in time for me to take to the con. But if it doesn't, it's not the end of the world. My table's already paid for next year. Okay. So, I think with flatting, with just the flat colors like here, you get a lot more immediate result. But it's not as interesting. I mean, it's pretty much like coloring in a coloring book. But then you get into picking out the shading, and you know, the first mark that you make looks so drastic. But then it really, you continue and it just keeps looking better and better. And, more like it's a three-dimensional object or person. I really love working with Mia's art here. I think what she's done with the characters is just so expressive. Let's see. I'm gonna have to be a little bit more delicate though. Let me dial back the size of my brush. So one strategy I thought of to get these done in time is I'm going to go ahead and do all the ones that require dialogue, everything that needs lettered. Get those shaded first and send those on to Wes so he can do the lettering. There, she's a little cozier in that blanket. So then he'll be able to get them done as early as possible. Of course, that means that I need to hurry and do my part. So I am really glad that I didn't lose my progress on that other page. That would have been bad. Because I think that's the only one that I got to do today. Yeah, it's just really hard sometimes to concentrate. I mean, I have a hard enough time just talking and doing this. It's much worse when I have to get up and explain fractions or again because they weren't listening the first time. Or fix a snack or whatever. So her face is going to be a little bit round. It's a thing that happens. Let's see. Do I need to add any more shading over here on this side? Well, let's try it. Maybe not. That looks a little more natural. So, let's see. Maybe across the top of the back of her hand. Keeping in mind where the light's coming from. And I decided that I want to make her more of a strawberry blonde. So I'm going to use this very pinkish color to put the shadows in her hair. So I've already got the thumbnail sketches back from Mia about the new pages, and they're looking really good. I had sent her some pages, some sketches that I had done, and she was able to work from those really well and put her own spin on it. I'm going to have to zoom way in on this hairnet. Come on. If you've been watching this stream for a few days in a row, you probably know my battles with getting this mouse to zoom in. I hate watching it jerk back and forth. I can only imagine what it must look like for y'all, because you don't, you aren't the one controlling the mouse. And I always hate it when I'm watching TV and something comes up to read and then somebody scrolls through it. It really bothers me. I can't stand it. I mean, I'll be trying to read something and all of a sudden the screen moves and I don't know why, but I am not okay with that. So that's what the zooming in reminds me of. It's like you're trying to read something on a screen and it moves. Now, I don't get car sick from reading in the car, but trying to read while somebody's scrolling through a screen, that makes me feel a little bit nauseated. Now you can see here, even though I'm using the same color, this sort of pinky gray mauve color, to shade the this hair thing. I'm not sure what it would be called, but it's very cute. It is coming out a slightly different color than it does when it's coming, than when you put it on the hair. And so I'm going to make this look a lot shinier when I get into the highlight layer. But for now I'm going to shade it. I'm also thinking about possibly doing an early art stream as well. It would have to be very early because my daughter emerges from her room in the mornings like her door is a starting gate. And it is rather noisy. So I'd be looking at like 6 o'clock in the morning. Oh, well, thank you for stopping by, James. I appreciate it. I don't know how long ago that was. I don't know if I caught him or not. I keep leaning in closer and closer to the screen. And I have Facebook open on my tablet, so yeah, there's no telling. Okay, my Twitch channel, if anybody is watching that, can you see it? Please post in the chat because all I'm getting is a black screen on my video preview. I don't know what I'll do about it if you can't see anything, but it would be awesome if you can see something so I can quit worrying about it. No. Why did I do that? Okay. And I mean, I don't really know how much of this is really going to pick up in the comic, because I have not seen my coloring work printed. And it will be printed on newsprint, so it'll be like the like the comics you'd get in the 90s. Now, if you haven't bought comics, in a while. You might be thinking, what else would they be printed on? But yeah, the modern way of doing comics is on this really shiny, glossy, archival quality paper, and it seems to have helped drive up the cost of comics so that it's almost impossible to get comics printed like the modern way to do it. There's print on demand, and it's expensive. It really is. And I don't want to be selling a comic for $7 a copy. I really kind of wanted to try to sell for about $1.50, like Alterna Comics has their pricing model, or possibly $2, but I think I'm gonna settle on $3 a copy. That's what I'm charging for the Kickstarter. Yeah, plus shipping, you know. Just so I can try to actually, well, not break even, because I'm certainly not doing that. I'm definitely not profiting. But bleed money more slowly. That's a goal. I really want to get this book out. I would love to get the whole series out. And that's going to require a lot of hard work from me, and also from Mia and Wes, but mostly from me, because I'm financing the whole thing first. Okay, let me touch up this bit right here on her face, get the shading smoothed out. And check and see if there's anything else that needs to be done or touched up right here. And oh, what's this? And then come up here and fit to screen again. See how it's looking. Okay, I might still have to go over it a little bit. It's kind of how things go. You finish things, you think you're finished, and then you come back to it fresh and you realize, oh, look at that, I forgot a whole block of color. Come on, zoom in. There it goes. Okay, so for her shadows, I'm going to go, this is Torin's mother. For her shadows, I'm going to go with a warmer shade. can see the baby here is Torin. And we don't really get to see him again. Well, let's see. Alright, so there's Becca and Torin when they're about 5 years old. And here they are. Well, you can't really see Becca at all. She's still cooking. But you can see they're very close to the same age. And it is important to the story that their mothers were friends. I mean, every element of this I've given so much thought to. So I have tried, when I've broken the writing rules, I have tried to do so with a purpose. But it is a little bit difficult to break the rules when you haven't earned the reader's trust. And sometimes you earn the reader's trust through reputation, and I have none. So, I am a noob. But I know the story is good. It's solid. And I've worked on it and improved it, and you know, it might not be everybody's genre. Most people who read comics, they're either reading horror or capes. You know, superheroes. But I think that comics are a good media for doing a fantasy story. Especially something with a really big world with a lot of quirks in it. Because I don't want to get bogged down in describing what everything looks like and what all the customs are. I'm not Tolkien, and I can't get away with that. I can't write that much. I can't write that much description. Okay, let's throw a bit more shadow here. Okay. So, with comics, you know, you can have as much art as you like. You know, art on every page. Which, yay, I always want more art. And when you're reading, then if you want to speed up and skip to the dialogue and the stuff that moves the plot forward, you can. Or if you want to linger on the scenery and speculate on the sort of world it is, you can do that too. So it's really a highly customizable experience for the readers. So when I put the shading in this fur trim in a minute, I'm gonna, let's see, usually what you do when you're shading white, you use some sort of blue with it, but what I want to do is go with one of these more brown or yellow tones, because, you know, there's different kinds of fur. You could probably get away with blue with something like, I don't know, mink. Oh. Or an artificial fur. You know, that would probably have blue tones in it. But this is more of an ecru, I think. It's going to be an off-white. Even polar bears, which their fur isn't white, it's clear and reflective. Even polar bears, they look a little yellowish. So let me come down here. So this is her traveling outfit. She's about to leave. And she's promised to help Becca's mom return home, is what's going on here. See, she ran away from home, not this lady, Becca's mother. And Torin's mother has just convinced her to return home and reconcile with her father, and they'll work it out somehow. Because, you know, it would be a terrible thing if she weren't to make it all the way back home. So let's see. Where are we at? Page. Yeah, it'd be a terrible thing if Becca's mother doesn't make it all the way back home. I mean, something like that. She's important enough that her remaining missing would potentially start a war. Let's see. I know something else needs to be done with this shadow. Right here. And it should be wider at the top. And this should be a little more gentle here. So I'm trying to work out the drape of the material. See, this would be leather, so it's going to be a stiffer material with less less drape and flow than the blue material over here, which would be a sort of silky stuff. Thank you, autosave. Not sure why I need autosave for that, but sure. And I really like that stroke, but it went into the gutters here, so. There. Okay, it's already 10 o'clock. I'm sorry, I didn't get very far on this. I got a late start because my computer was being dumb. It started with my monitor being dumb, and then it just turned into everything. I don't know why. We might have gremlins, who knows. But I made it a longer stream last night, and I'm still seriously considering coming back in here and doing something. Trying to get something done starting at very early in the morning. So I don't know if I'll be streaming or not. I mean, it does seem a little excessive. But knowing that there are people who might possibly be waiting on me to do the art streams, it does make me get in here and, you know, get my work done. And I've been making a lot of progress with it. Let's see. I think I can back out of this right now. And let me zoom in on the panel that I did. Come on. There it goes. So there we have it. We have, let me see, before and after. Let's do that again. So we can hide our multiply layer and see what it looks like before we did all this work. And here it is with the shadows on top of it. Now, Torin's mom needs a lot more work. The room could stand more shading because a lot more shadow is going to be cast by that fireplace that we don't see, but it exists. And over here, this baby blanket needs some work too. But thank you for keeping me company. I appreciate you staying with me. And yeah, if you haven't stopped by to back my Kickstarter or to check it out, please do. This is for the bonus material that will now be included for Soulbound Issue 1, Adrift, which is about Becca, a pragmatic med student who is suddenly thrown into another realm of magic, myth, and monsters. So, thank you all, good night, and I'll see you in the other realm.